Again? We are going through this with Angel Reese again? Another instance where Angel Reese shows a complete lack of self-control? Another instance where Angel Reese loses her temper? What is this? The second time this week this has happened?
Did you see what Angel Reese just did during the Chicago Sky versus Washington Mystics game? In the middle of live play, she appeared to claw at Kiki Iriafen out of frustration then somehow. The refs didn't call a flagrant foul. Fans were stunned. How does something like that go unpunished in a professional league that's supposed to prioritize player safety and the integrity of the game? Moments like this don't just trend online, they raise serious questions about the WNBA's officiating and what kind of message the league is sending. Are certain players getting special treatment? And what does that mean for accountability moving forward?
Angel Reese just clawed Kiki Iriafen out of frustration. Like what? Like, how did the refs miss that? How did the refs miss that?
Let's talk about the moment that had everyone buzzing during the Chicago Sky versus Washington Mystics game. After missing a few close shots at the rim, Angel Reese's frustration was obvious. You could see it all over her face. Her shoulders tensed up. She shook her head, glanced at the scoreboard. But it's what happened next that really sent shockwaves through the league.
During the game, Angel Reese was doing what she does best, missing layups. Unfortunately, she was unable to grab one of her recently trademarked me bounds. Angel Reese was visibly frustrated, which is kind of strange. By now, you'd figure that Angel Reese was used to missing layups and would have no reason to be pissed off about it.
Third quarter. After missing yet another layup, Reese didn't hustle back on defense. Instead, she reached out and made clear contact with Kiki Iriafen's face as Iriafen grabbed the rebound. The swipe was easy to spot on the broadcast, so much so that Iriafen instantly recoiled, holding her face in visible pain. And yet, despite how obvious it was, the officials on the floor didn't call a thing.
Dump it off down low. Good idea.
So, no review. The game just kept moving, like nothing happened. But this wasn't some minor bump. The replay made it crystal clear. There was contact, and it wasn't subtle. Fans watching at home saw it in real time, and social media lit up almost instantly. Sure, the arena may not have been packed, but everyone watching online and on TV caught every second of it. What really frustrated people was the fact that the refs were right. They're close enough to see everything, and still didn't make the call.
So Angel Reese is obviously
isn't just about one missed call. It's become a flashpoint in a much larger conversation about WNBA officiating. Fans across the board are asking the same thing. Why isn't the league holding referees accountable when they miss something this obvious? And it's not just one team's fan base speaking up, whether you support Reese or Iriafen. Most people agree the officials got this one wrong. Moments like this shake fans' confidence in the league's fairness and commitment to player safety. And for those familiar with Angel Reese's career, this isn't her first on-court controversy. Have been heated moments before, like the recent hair pull incident, where many viewed her reaction as justified. But this time feels different. The contact was clear, the stakes were higher, and all eyes were watching. Let me know if you'd like the next paragraph reworked or a smooth transition into your closing school.
7 to shoot. Cardoso rolls, catch. Cardoso over the top, can't get it. Reese fights for the rebound and a foul, and this time gets a little chippy and a shove on Nelson Adona.
All the controversy building, it's no surprise people are starting to draw comparisons between Angel, Reese, and other big-name athletes with polarizing reputations. One comparison that's been gaining traction. Some are asking if Angel Reese is becoming the Ja Morant of the WNBA now. That might sound extreme, but there's a reason this conversation is happening. Ja Morant's career didn't stumble because of a lack of talent. He's incredible on the court, but his off-court behavior and the image he projected led to major setbacks. And now, fans are wondering if Angel Reese is heading down a similar path, not because of how she plays, but because of how she's perceived and how the league handles Moments like this
is still a game changer who is just now entering the prime of his career. But in the boardroom, where decisions are made as to who's going to be marketed and promoted, Ja Morant is persona non grata. As far as the NBA's marketing department is concerned, Ja Morant doesn't exist. Why? Because Ja Morant made himself unmarketable. Ja Morant destroyed his own mainstream drawing power.
his tough guy image. The viral social media videos, all of it, started to hurt his reputation. Sponsors pulled back, and the NBA quietly stopped promoting him as one of the league's future stars. That's a major drop for someone who was once seen as a cornerstone of the next generation. It showed how quickly things can change when public perception shifts, no matter how talented you are.
Was well on his way to being the face of the NBA. 2 or 3 years ago, the league was prepared to get fully behind him. But after 2 lapses in judgment, the mainstream career and drawing power of Ja Morant have evaporated. I'm starting to wonder if something similar could happen to Angel Reese.
School now, Angel Reese's situation isn't a carbon copy of Ja Morant's, but the warning signs are hard to ignore. Her issues aren't happening off the court, they're happening during live games. The swipe at Kiki Iriafen wasn't just a heat of the moment. Mistake it's part of a growing pattern that has people questioning how well she handles pressure. What's even more interesting is the contrast in how it's being handled. Unlike the NBA's cautious approach with Ya, the WNBA and much of the media still seem eager to keep Reese in the spotlight, even as more fans begin to express concern and frustration.
Is this the second time this week this has happened? At least in the first instance, Angel Reese was somewhat justified in her reaction. Some anonymous player was pulling on her hair, which can be a very scary situation for some players in the WNBA.
A hair-pulling incident earlier this season is a great example of how quickly things can escalate. During that game, Reese's braids were pulled. She reacted, and the officials called it. Some people felt her response was totally justified. Those thought she went too far, but at least the moment was acknowledged. There was a whistle, and a real conversation followed. Now, fast forward to the recent swipe at Iriafen this time, nothing. No whistle, no review, no accountability. And that's exactly where the frustration starts to build. Fans watched Reese get penalized earlier for standing up for herself, only to see another situation where she's the one making contact completely ignored. It's that inconsistency that really gets under people's skin. This starts to build up. The league has been promoting Angel Reese as one of its rising stars since her college days, and there's no denying she brings talent and intensity to the court. But when that intensity starts to come off as recklessness, the narrative shifts. Some fans who were initially drawn to her energy are now starting to question if she's the right choice to help represent the league. Supporters of Caitlin Clark have been especially vocal, saying they don't want Reese to be the face of women's basketball. They point to incidents like the swipe at Iriafen as evidence that she doesn't reflect the image they want for the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark can get clawed in the eye. When the ball's here, she can get clawed in this eye. When she's dribbling with her left hand, she can get clawed in her right eye. And then while she's walking away holding her eye, JC Sheldon can body bump her and she can kind of push JC Sheldon off, get called for a technical foul. That's a very bad position to oppose Stephanie White.
And it's not just about how fans feel, there are real consequences off the court too. Ja Morant's situation is a perfect example. He didn't just lose fans, he lost major sponsorship deals. The NBA stopped pushing him as a key face of the league, and his public image took a serious hit. If Angel Reese keeps piling up these kinds of moments, she could find herself in a similar position. Brands want players who are not only talented, but also dependable and easy to market. One more high-profile slip-up could be all it takes for sponsors to start backing away.
According to Statista, almost 60% of the people who attended NBA games this season, white people. Now, if you're the NBA, you want to market players who appeal to the people who are financially supporting your league, which automatically excludes Ja Morant. It's kind of hard to get corporate sponsors to support your product when the face of your league is playing gangster on Instagram.
The WNBA now faces a tough question. Can it promote? Angel Reese as a star while staying silent on moments like the Iriafen incident. Ignoring it sends the wrong message that popularity outweighs accountability, and that risks damaging both the league's image and fan trust. Just like we saw with Ja Morant, sponsors don't stick around when controversy keeps piling up. If things continue down this road, Reese could face real consequences, not just on the court, but off it to Don.
It's a flagrant foul. I think we can be honest. It's a flagrant foul. There's no point in discussing it, and to saying anything other than it being a flagrant foul is just trying to deflect from the situation. Because you cannot be allowed to do this. You cannot be allowed hit people in the face.
Fans have seen moments like this before, but what really frustrates them is the double standard. When Caitlin Clark got hit with a technical for reacting to an eye gouge, the call was swift and clear. But when Reese does something similar, and there's no whistle, no review, no real response, it starts to feel like the rules change depending on who the player is.